Hello and welcome back to Sack to the Future 1971. This is the Sunday night primetime game between the undefeated Dallas Cowboys and the first place New Orleans Saints. So a couple of division leading teams going to go at it for your primetime matchup, and also the last matchup of week number 4. The Cowboys there's some controversy now. I mean, the Rams have looked great recently. The Cardinals have a very easy schedule, but they are dominating their opponents. And the Chiefs, we saw at the end of week 3, they led, according to yardage, they were the number 1 offense and the number 1 defense. So there's some people competing for best team, but eye test wise, I think the Cowboys are still right there as probably the favorites to be considered the best team. The Saints are in first as well. Again, an easier division to win, but you only have to win the division you're in. So this could be a possible playoff preview for sure. See if the Saints can give the Cowboys a competitive match. I thought the Dolphins would have last week. It was less ridiculous, but the Cowboys still won fairly easily. I mean, 20-3, but they were never really a doubt who was going to win that game. So here they come out. Cowboys led by Roger Staubach. See, over 800 yards in 3 weeks. He's got the 5 touchdowns, so only 1 interception. But it is a road game in New Orleans. So we'll see. Play action pass. Staubach fires short to Garrison, who gets hit, and the ball comes out. So that's an incompletion to start the game. Here is your Cowboys offense. Let's go Nyland, Manders, Nye, and Wright. Mike Dick is the tight end. Allworth and Hayes, the great receiving corps. Calvin Hill and Thomas, of course, are the running backs. Staubach's going to throw again, and he just goes to the running back, but the Saints are all over it, so the Saints understand that the game plan was to go to the backs on passing routes early, and the Saints have been there to hit them immediately both times. Thomas holds on to this one, but actually loses yards. So now we have a 3rd and 12 right off the bat. Staubach looking deep. It's knocked away. That was 22-on-22 action. Martin able to stay with Hayes and knock it away. So the Saints, about as impressive as you can be on defense against one of the scariest teams in the NFL. And now the problems with the punt, but he gets the kick away, and a fair catch called for. So here come the Saints. What? It looks like Archie Manning's back in. Archie Manning has played most of the snaps, but they have had both quarterbacks in action. Archie Manning takes off and runs for a couple yards. So here it is: Morrison, Coop, Didion, Williams, and Roy Hines. I was just not ready. I was not ready for the Saints. Less familiar with them, obviously. But here we go. Saints skill position player. Oh, he stayed in bounds. I thought he was going out. He ends up turning into a 17-yard gain. But you had Dave Parks at the tight end position. Al Dodd and Danny Abranovich are the receivers. James Ford and Jim Strong, the running back fullback combination. Archie Manning is starting today at quarterback. Of course, the other quarterback on the team is Ed Haggard, and he has played some already this season, but Archie's the man today. Delayed handoff and a broken tackle, so a nice run by Gresham. Gresham's been the story there. You see on the season, 422 yards and 4 touchdowns after 3 games. Gresham, top 3 in the league in rushing yards, and also with the 4 touchdowns, puts him just 1 behind the leader, Roddy Bull. So Gresham has been one of the best backs in the league so far and helped the Saints get to a 2-1 record. Here he gets ripped down, though, by Cliff Harris, who comes up on the safety run blitz. All right, we have a 3rd and 6. Archie's going to line up from the shotgun. And he will fire complete, but Parks had to come back for it, so he will not get the first down. And the Saints will punt. They got on the other side of the 50, but now we'll see how good of a punt. You have to do everything right when you're playing a team like the Cowboys or the Chiefs or one of the teams that's loaded with talent and you know is better than you in your heart of hearts, but they don't get the perfect punt, so the Cowboys get to start at the 20. That was a chance there. A punt could have got out like the 5 or 6 yard line. And then right away, Staubach hits Hayes. The Saints go for the big hit. Bob Hayes withstands it and then takes off with his great speed the rest of the way. And just like that, it's an 80-yard touchdown pass from Staubach to Hayes. Look at this. Hayes makes the catch, beats his man, then takes the hit from the safety, but stays up. And that's what happens when you don't wrap up going for the big hit. Cost the Saints there, and just like that, the team with the old star on the helmet outplaying the team with the forgot what the well, the Saints, I don't know, they have a recognizable symbol as well, but I can't think of what it's called. Well, the Saints need to get some points now. Hand off to Gresham. Yeah, he breaks a tackle and gets up to the 29-yard line, and now Gresham is hurt. So all kinds of bad news back to back. First, Hayes breaks out for a huge 80-yard touchdown pass, and then Gresham, who's been the star of the Saints so far, comes up with an injured leg. So the Saints definitely have their work cut out for them now. Here's the Cowboys defense, also scary. Bob Lilly, Jethro Pugh in the middle, George Andre and Larry Cole are the ends. Leroy Jordan, Chuck Howley, Dave Edwards, pretty good linebackers. Cornell Green, Cliff Harris, Herb Adderley, and Mel Renfro, one of the best secondary combinations in the league. Archie Manning, another handoff, and he will get the first down. So Dave Kopay, the former 49er, gets the first down. Leroy Jordan with the tackle. Archie throws underneath. Archie's 3 of 3 to start this game. So Ford able to weave his way to avoid losing yardage. Or maybe he still lost a yard, I don't know, but it's 3rd and 10 now. Saints going to need a special play from their quarterback here. Archie Manning throws underneath, just plays it safe, and actually with that roll over the defender, he may have gotten the first down. So a nice, sometimes playing it safe pays off. Ford does a great job of turning that into a first down. And the Saints keep the ball down 7-0. They really would like to get some points on this drive. There's a handoff, and Lilly picks his feet off the ground and drives him into the ground, trying to hurt another running back. Lilly's just a beast in the middle, run or pass. He is blowing things up. Archie Manning pops up for a quick pass to Abramovich. And Archie Manning fires on the money. No, the hit knocks it out. Cornell Green. Archie Manning has been on target. That was going to be 6 for 6. But Cornell Green, who always seems to show up with a big play in the first half of every game, comes with a big hit there to knock the ball loose. This time they do get the good play. You remember last time that he did not execute his punt. And the Cowboys got to start out at the 20, and right off the bat, first play, Staubach went deep to Hayes, and that was all she wrote. It's 7-0 now. This time he does do his job, gets him back at the 8, and now you see the Cowboys will try to run out of it. But Dwayne Thomas gets a huge run up across to the 25-yard line, so now after that play by Dwayne Thomas, they're right in position for Staubach to look deep to Hayes again. Let's see what happens. They will go to Thomas again. He gets some nice blocking, and he runs across for another first down. So now 2 carries for 28 yards. Thomas off to a great start, and we'll see if the Cowboys use that to go deep to Hayes again, or if they keep riding him. Looks like they're going to keep riding Thomas until the Saints stop him, and this is where the Saints stop him. So finally a loss of 4, 2nd and 14 coming up. Now you see the Denver Broncos went 35-0. That's against a semi-pro team, but nevertheless, the Denver Broncos, who I always leave out of the conversation. Here's the Saints defense: Neal, Long, Pollard, and Owens on the line. Flanagan, Coleman, and Cunningham are the linebackers. Secondary: Howell, Hollis, Wyatt, and Martin. Not quite the names the Cowboys have, but they're playing fairly decent so far this season. I was going to say the Broncos I always leave out of the conversation, but they are 4-0 themselves, and they've actually only allowed 10 points in 4 games. So even if they got a semi-pro team this week, that's still 10 points. Even if you played all 4 games against semi-pros, still allowing 2.5 points per game. It's pretty impressive. So maybe the Broncos need to be talked about as the best 1971 team. I mean, I'm still going to go with my eyes and say that there's a reason that I haven't put the Broncos in the class of the Chiefs and the Cowboys, and then the Rams with honorable mention of 3rd place. But, you know, if they keep winning, they'll eventually get put in there. Speaking of keep winning, Gresham is back, and that's going to help the Saints keep winning. Again, the Saints in 1st place, just like the Cowboys. There's a fake, and then Archie Manning keeps it and gets the first down. He didn't get much, but he did not fumble, and that's always impressive from any quarterback. Archie Manning pops up, quick throw. That's going to count as a rush because he threw it behind the line. Those are always dangerous. Dodd would have dropped it if he would have got popped in what normally would be getting hit and being incomplete. If he got hit and dropped the ball there, that's a fumble. Oh my goodness, Lilly was in the backfield almost the same time as the ball was handed off. So no chance for the running back. 3rd and 14 coming up. Archie Manning drops back. Quick drops, got to get rid of it. It has a blocker downfield. That was a nice little play design. Nice play call, because the Cowboys came to destroy Manning, so he got it out of his hand quickly, but then got it out here where there was kind of a 2-on-1 situation. So one good block on Renfro gets the first down. Nice play call. Nice execution as well. So the Saints showing that they're not a joke at 2-1. The Saints' chances of winning this division are not bad. Of course, 2 semi-pro teams means they really only have 1 team to beat, and that's the Falcons. And the Falcons lost again this week, so the Falcons are down to 1-3. If the Saints could somehow upset the Cowboys, they could have total control of this division. It's a big ask, though. Big ask. They're fighting with the Cowboys right now. One big play to Hayes is the only thing separating these two teams so far, but the Saints are going to have to punt. As this is now 13 quarters. No. Yeah, 13 quarters are complete without the Cowboys offensive line allowing a sack of their quarterback. Whereas Lilly is just tearing up all offensive lines he goes against. And now you see Dwayne Thomas is up over 300 yards. This is game number 4. So over 300 yards is pretty good. Obviously over 400 yards in 4 games is the ultimate. But he has a chance to get that with 3 quarters left. Staubach, quick throw to Garrison. This time no one's there to pop him. So he's able to get some yards after the catch. Staubach only 3 of 7, but he's got over 80 yards and a touchdown because of that 80-yard touchdown to Hayes. Staubach play action pass here, and then he throws it behind Dwayne Thomas and could have been picked up, but nobody expected the throw to go there. Dwayne Thomas was stunned it was behind him, and the linebacker literally hit him in the hands, and he dropped it because he had no clue it was coming. And now the Saints pulling a Cowboys all-out rush of the quarterback. Staubach unable to run away from it. He gets sacked in the backfield, and the Saints force the Cowboys to punt again. So the Saints, the fans are into it. Who dat? Cowboys get the punt off. There's 2 cover guys down there, including Cornell Green, who does literally everything. And the Saints have the ball at the 40-yard line. See what they can do. Handoff, get some nice blocking. He gets 6 yards, 7 even. Brings up a 2nd and 3, we're going to call it. Maybe a long 2. Archie trying to get the Cowboys to jump off sides, but they're too disciplined for that. Gresham does get the first down, though. A nice run. And first down, Saints have the ball right at midfield. Down by a touchdown. Archie on the delay will give it. He won't get any yards. He will not get any yards. 9 carries, 24 yards, but they're using him, and that's important against the Cowboys. Keep Staubach on the sidelines as long as possible. That delay, that's going to be a delay of game for the Saints. They went into their motioning too late. And the reason I put the Cowboys at the top, or right at the top with the Chiefs, is because both the Cowboys and Chiefs, the Cowboys are even better on the offensive line, but both the Cowboys and Chiefs have intimidating defenses to go along with offenses that can move the ball. And so it's just like a game like this where the Saints are playing really well, but it's just they can't get any points against the defense. And then you know that the offense has a bunch of talented people like Bob Hayes that can break an 80-yard touchdown at any moment. And so you just feel like every time you get the ball and can't do anything, that the clock's just ticking on the next time the Cowboys are going to get a big play, and now you're down by 14, and the game gets out of control. But we'll see how long the Saints defense can hold on. Another good punt forces the Cowboys to start at the 14. The Saints are doing a good job of keeping the Cowboys starting field position back, which other teams have not done as well at. In fact, the one time the Cowboys got to start not inside their own 20, they got a touchdown on one play. So Staubach drops back here. He's firing deep again. He's got... Who is that? That's Dan Reeves. Dan Reeves has not been used that much. But Dan Reeves comes up. That tricked the Saints with good reason. Reeves down the seam. Definitely not something the Saints were planning on guarding, but that's the thing about Landry and these Cowboys is they always have an answer to your answer or a counter to your counter. And here's a pitch out to Thomas, who splits the defenders. That's not Thomas, it's Calvin Hill. Calvin Hill breaking another tackle. He goes all the way for the touchdown. That's their second running back, folks. This team is loaded. Cowboys are loaded. Just impressive team so far. Calvin Hill out of the University of Yale, former first-round pick. back in 1969. And Thomas has hurt them. Calvin Hill really hurt them. Bob Hayes, of course, has so much speed that their safeties can't creep up. And you see the Cowboys. It seems like the Saints are playing very well, and yet the Cowboys are almost already at 200 yards, and they have a 14-point lead. And it's not even halftime, so this game could easily end up being a 25 to 35-point Cowboy win, even though it felt like the Saints were competing for a while. Well, it is, if you can get a long touchdown drive here, maybe best case scenario, you go into the locker room down 14-7. And that's what you got to hope for if you're a Saints fan. If you're a Cowboy fan, of course, you're saying, let's lock them down right here, get the ball right back, punish their defense, make sure their defense knows it's over, and have an easy second half. So we'll see which fan gets their dream. Archie Manning comes up with a nice throw. And so that will keep the offense on the field a little bit longer. That's already 5 catches for Parks. Saints have gone over 100 yards. And now Manning will turn and hand off to Gresham, who gets destroyed. Guy in the line loses 2. Archie Manning now backs up into the shotgun, trying to get away from Bob Lilly, which is not a bad idea. And they double team Lilly, and Lilly splits the double team anyways and gets the sack. Bob Lilly is a man playing against boys, is what it looks like this season. Look at that. They double teamed. They did everything right. Archie Manning backed up into the shotgun to get away from him. They put 2 guys on him, and Lilly didn't care about any of that. He's like, you're not going to get any points for doing everything right. You just need to bow down and admit that I am a superior football player to anyone on your team. Lilly influenced that throw because Archie Manning was unwilling to look at more than one guy, just immediately threw it out to his check down. And 4th and 21, the Saints are going to have to punt again. And that's the other thing is the more this game extends, now it's already 14, any more points by the Cowboys, and you'll see a severe play distortion of passes versus runs. Right now, 14-0, the Saints might still run, but once it gets more than that, if the Cowboys get a 17-point lead, then Bob Lilly and companies can just pin their ears back and go all-out pass rush. And then you see the sack numbers getting out of control. Bob Lilly's probably breaking records this season. He's at 12 sacks already. Although Sack for the Future has some pretty steep records. We're still hoping to recover the stats from this, the first half of the decade of the 60s from Sack to the Future. But I know, or at least I remember, I could be remembering incorrectly, but I remember having some players that approached 30 sacks in the season. I don't remember if they actually broke 30, but speaking of breaking, Dwayne Thomas breaks off another nice run. So Calvin Hill and Dwayne Thomas combined are over 100 yards already here in the first half. 14-0. Saints cannot afford to give up any more first half points. There's a handoff, gets a block, down he goes to the 41. And that is the 2-minute warning. So Saints played pretty well for a little bit over a quarter, but the Cowboys are starting to exercise their dominance, and the Saints have to hold on and hope it's only a 2-score game at the half. Staubach fires, and that's overthrown and picked off. He threw it too high for Bob Hayes, and it's picked off by Wyatt, and that's only Staubach's 2nd interception of the season. And the Saints get their wish as far as the Cowboys not scoring any more points, hopefully. But can Archie Manning turn this turnover into points? They actually blocked Lilly. It's hard to do, but they did it. And fortunately, the secondary is also good. So even if you get Lilly and Andre and all those guys up front blocked, then you have one of the best secondaries to contend with on the back end. And here's Lilly Oh, he destroys Archie Manning. Archie Manning got rid of the ball to avoid another sack. Now 3rd and 10. See if they'll double team Lilly. They do not. And he actually blocked him. Single block. But, of course, the Cowboys dropped everyone into coverage because Lilly is so terrifying that he takes up 2 blockers, which means your 4-on-5 is good enough. And they can have the linebackers join the secondary. 7 guys in coverage. And just nowhere to throw the ball. So the Saints do, with a nice punt, flip field position because of that interception, make the Cowboys go all the way back to their 18-yard line. And there you see the Chiefs obliterate the Lions. The Browns beat the semi-pro team, but not by as wide of a margin as you've seen people beating semi-pro teams. So, I mean, it's still a win. But I think it was 14-6, that said. That's a close game against a semi-pro team. And Staubach is human-like this game. He's been at like 70 or over 70% in the first 3 games. Here, he's only 6 of 13, actually under 50%. So, isn't that interesting? But then again, Staubach having the worst game of his season, and the Cowboys are still up 14-0 and feel like they're in total control of the game. Staubach drops back to pass again, fires, hits Bob Hayes. Bob Hayes down to the 40-yard line. Hayes is already over 100 yards receiving. And Staubach is back up to 50%, maybe over. I lost count. Complete again, Bob Hayes. Another timeout. Now Staubach is over 50%, and the Cowboys are over 250 yards of offense already. So on pace to eclipse 500 yards again. There's a completion to Dwayne Thomas, and he breaks a tackle and drags 3 Saints down inside the 5-yard line. My gosh, it's just not fair. It's like those college football games when it's Michigan against Lane Tech or something, man, or Ohio State against friggin' Arkansas Pine Bluff, and you're like, why? It's not fair. These guys are different level athletes, but this is the NFL, so it's in theory fair. But the Cowboys just are a different level of athlete. And there's Mike Ditka, who is past his prime, but he's having a great season. Staubach hits him for the touchdown, and this game's going to get away from the Saints. Another blowout, easy victory for the Cowboys, 21-0. Before the half, I don't think, even though the Saints have their timeout, I don't think they're going to get any points this half. How good are these Cowboys? How good are they? No Sack to the Future Super Bowl has ever been won by a real life Super Bowl. Only one champion out of AFL, AFC, NFC, etc., has ever appeared in the Super Bowl. That was the 63 Chargers, who in real life won the AFL championship and did Sack to the Future. Made it to the Super Bowl but lost. But these 71 Cowboys look like they might be able to buck the trend. And again, it's only week 4, but eventually I'm going to take the word only out of there. Week 4 does mean a quarter of the season. So, a couple more weeks. Can I really say it's only week 6? Probably not. So, I have to take that word only out of there pretty soon. The Cowboys have a timeout. Let's see if Staubach can turn more points in here. Quick drop, fires, completes, down to the 30, and they get the timeout called. So, unbelievable. Archie Manning throws an interception, and the Cowboys might get more points before the half. Kick is up, and it is good. They do grab 3 more points. They didn't need it, but they did it anyways. 24-0 Cowboys. Saints fans almost silent. They were loud a little bit of the first and even the start of the second quarter. But look at that, 316 yards already. The Saints just barely over 100. So it's a 3-1. Every time the Saints get 1 yard, the Cowboys are getting 3. Every time the Saints think about scoring, the Cowboys are scoring, and it's 24-0. So 24-0. We know how good the Cowboys have been. There's literally no chance that Saints can win this game. But the Saints can't think like us observers. They have to think, okay, let's come out, play our game. We don't have to throw every pass, but we have to get points. You know, come out, get a 7-8 minute drive, get a touchdown, play one great series on defense, get the ball back, another 8-minute drive, touchdown. All of a sudden, it's a one-score game in the fourth quarter. But that's best case scenario, and that's against a team that's way more talented than you are. So it is going to take a monumental effort from some guys. There's a couple nice plays to start the drive, though. One from Manning, one from Gresham. Archie Manning inevitably will have to throw more than normal in the second half, so they really have to double team or whatever they need to do, cut Lily's legs off or something, because if they don't, Lily might get another 5-sack game. There's a hand of nothing. 3 Cowboys there to hit him. 3rd and 11 coming up. Manning looking deep and overshoots everyone. The Cowboys had guys there. It looked like they still had 2 men covering the receiver, so that might have just been trying to stretch out the defense a little bit, or figured worst case scenario, if it's picked off down there, it's not much different than a punt anyways. In fact, this punt is pathetic. It goes out about to the 30, so having it picked off back at the 15 would have actually been even better than a punt. All right, so now Staubach comes out. Ooh, Dwayne Thomas cuts it back, and that was a mistake because the Saint was there to rip him down to the ground. Nice play by Owens. And the Cowboys go backwards for once. See, it's 2-1 on the ground. It's more than 2-1 in the air. It's almost 3-1 in total yards. Cowboys have actually thrown twice as much as they've run so far. Pitch out to Thomas, cuts it back and gets tackled. So the Saints defense, much like it did in the first quarter, it comes out here in the third quarter and playing good against defense. Completely gets shredded in the second quarter, though. Not much on the return. Saints will start at their own 25-yard line. There's a flag. Who's that on? That's holding against the Saints. So Gresham didn't get much. Gresham gets most of the holding yards back, though. The rookie from West Virginia has been playing hard. Archie Manning now fires across the middle. That's complete. Up to the 30-yard line. And a manageable 3rd and 5 now. So they turn a 1st and 20 into a 3rd and 5. That's a good job, but now they have to convert. All kinds of blitzers coming in, but it was a screen pass. Again, that's the second really nice call by the Saints at the right time. And that's what you got to do. You just got to constantly, it's got to be the right call at the right time, over and over and over and over. No turnovers. Hope the Cowboys turn it over a couple times themselves, and maybe, just maybe, you'll have a one-score game if you do all that. If you don't do all that, and even make a mistake or two, then you see you're down 24-0. It's not the fourth quarter yet, so again, you just got to get points before the third quarter is over if you want your team to believe that you can come back. Since they're on the Cowboys side of the field, though, I think that you might turn this into 4-down territory. Archie throws underneath, not much, up to the 41-yard line. From here, I would go for it on 4th down. If you're in field goal range, you might take the field goal just because you need to see points get on the board. But from here, where you can't make a field goal anyways, Archie Manning gets hit as he throws, but it's caught. It ends up being caught. Archie Manning does a nice job standing in there, knowing the hit's coming, gets rid of it, and it is complete to Dodd, just his second catch of the game. And now the Saints are in field goal range. So, again, you really need the touchdown to have a realistic chance of even making this game interesting. But if it's a 4th and long, I think you probably kick the field goal because your team needs to see points get on the board. You see the Colts blew out the Raiders, and that's a little bit of a surprise. Not that the Raiders are a favorite to go to the Super Bowl or anything, but I thought they would be pretty decent. Most people putting them at around 8-8 or so. They've lost 4 straight to start the season. Okay, so here we go, 4th and 8. That might be a little bit too long. You might need to just get the points on the board. That's what the Saints are going to try to do. Now you got to make sure the kicker comes through. You cannot walk away with no points. Kick is up, it's long enough, and he does put it through, so at least the shutout is off the table. Saints players get to see some points on the board. Hey, Al, Red Sox fan. Thanks for joining. Now, Red Sox fan, of course, known for retro sports on his channel. Been delving into the early 70s football yourself, I've been seeing.
Here we go.
Cowboys have looked great so far. Nope, this is 1971. Charlie Durkee is the Saints kicker. Yep, 1970. Yeah, I saw the Giants-Rams replay. That was a good one. Here in Sack to the Future, of course, since it's always the 4 main teams that are televised. Cowboys, Giants, Bears, and Bills. The Cowboys have looked the best out of those, of course. 1971, Cowboys real life won the whole thing, so not surprising. But so far in Sack to the Future, no real life team has won the Sack to the Future Super Bowl. So Cowboys have looked mighty impressive, though. Staubach, Hayes, Allworth, Thomas, Hill, just loaded on offense. And then their defense is slamming people around. So Saints were competitive for a little over a quarter. Yep, Bambi. Speed on the outside. Speed and toughness from the running back position. Maybe the best quarterback of 1971. Bob Lilly's tearing things up. It's just their offensive line has still, to this point, not allowed a sack yet. So this is the second half of game number 4 and no sacks. And Madden is defensive tackles and defensive end, but especially defensive tackles like the game of Madden. Bob Lilly himself, I think, is up to, well, he's up to double digits. Him and Alan Page both have double-digit sacks after 4 games. So the fact that the Cowboys offensive line has allowed 0 sacks is why it seems like they might go ahead and win the whole thing. .24 seconds left. Turn, fake, and in trouble. is Staubach, and down he goes. Owens, who's made a couple nice plays for the Saints, gets a sack there. You see, this is the first time that the Cowboys are not winning this. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Staubach was sacked earlier today. So before this game, Staubach had not been sacked, but now the Saints have gotten him twice. So 2 sacks allowed by that offensive line in 4 games. It's the end of the third quarter. Yep, Walt Garrison. Walt Garrison's not a bad player, and Dan Reeves is still on this team. And he's not a superstar or anything, but the Cowboys are so loaded that when someone like Garrison or Reeves does a play, I'm just like, who is that? Because this team's so loaded that they're down in the double digits of importance on the team. Oh, that was a weird animation there, but Dwayne Thomas gets. Yep, they're so good. They're so deep, so loaded. And now we're going to see a kicking opportunity. He's made 1 field goal already. And he is true. Mike Clark puts another field goal through the uprights. Chad Morton holding. And the Cowboys extend their lead to 27-3. The closest game the Cowboys have played so far was 20-3 against the Dolphins. Of course, that is the real-life 71 Super Bowl. So it wasn't as close as I was hoping it would be. The Cowboys have just looked too impressive. Archie Manning's going to take off and slide, avoiding the big hit. Archie Manning, of course, the rookie that is taken over as the starting quarterback. Rookie out of Ole Miss. And misses his receiver there. 28 pass attempts because the Saints got down early. Archie Manning going to the air, and he's backed up into the shotgun to get away from Bob Lilly. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to see a lot of Archie Manning getting hit. Now, the Saints, of course, the way Madden set up, they're in the NFC South, so they don't play the Cowboys and Giants a bunch. But still, when we do see them, we're going to see Archie Manning taking a lot of hits, I'm pretty sure. Oh, there's a personal foul by the Cowboys. Drags him. It looked like he tackled him from behind, but Herb Adderley must have slipped his hand around and ripped down on the face mask. Herb Adderley, of course, the ex-Packer. Still getting it done, though, now on the Cowboys. Archie Manning fires towards the sidelines. It's caught, but he has to come back for the ball, so I think he ends up losing yards. Another tackle by Mel Renfro. 7 tackles for the corner. Archie Manning takes off, and he's going to run. Gets all the way inside the 20. So he has run for 28 yards today. Archie Manning. Second overall pick in the draft. And the Saints are excited about him. So the Saints have actually put 60, they've run 60 plays. That's the first team to achieve that against the Cowboys. The Saints have actually, the score is 27-3, but the Saints have probably played the best against the Cowboys so far, even though the score's not close. There's a dump off that's going to turn into a touchdown. Archie Manning gets a touchdown pass against these guys, finds Birchfield out of the backfield. And the Saints now have the closest game so far the Cowboys have played was a 17-point win. Right now they're up by 18. Saints going for 2, and they're not going to get there. So there's some basketball action from Chuck Howley. Saints get the touchdown, but they still are 1 point shy of being considered the closest opponent to the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys are intimidated that they will somehow lose this game or anything, but it has been a little bit closer, which is nice. I mean, nobody, unless you're actually a Cowboy fan, wants to tune in and see the Cowboys continually beat people by 30 points. So 27-9, not close, but not horrible. There's Dwayne Thomas. He's up to 90 yards. So Dwayne Thomas had a relatively underwhelming week 1, but since then he has been over 90 yards each of the next 3 weeks. And Staubach, of course, number 2 in passer rating. So when you have both running and passing working with the defense that the Cowboys have, that's why you beat teams as easily as you do. Now they're going to go ahead and give their, look at that hole that offensive line opened up. Huge hole. Dwayne Thomas goes over 100 yards, 16 carries, 108 yards for Thomas. Hollis may have saved a touchdown by getting that tackle, but that was just the left side of the line for the Dallas Cowboys. Just opened up a huge hole, and now Thomas cuts it back to the left side again, and just running behind that monstrous line. Ralph Neely and John Nyland. Getting the job done. Walt Garrison with the lead blocks as well. There's a quick handoff, and this time up. Ooh, Dwayne Thomas. The Saints extract some revenge, putting the hard hit on Thomas, and he seems to be hurt. He is on the sidelines, so again, yeah, that's the unfortunate part about wanting to play, you know, a Madden season rather than just one game at a time, is dealing with the teams that are not in existence yet. So they're just they're mostly just players that have retired, or they started off as players that had retired recently, but then the computer makes transactions, and so they're just kind of messes. I might go through and rename some of the players, but they're kind of a mix of people that retired in the late 60s and modern people that were still left over in the roster. So they're a little bit messy. They don't get televised too much, but they did play a game. The Giants played the Bucks, so that was actually on the channel, and you see some Bucks having some modern players and stuff. But yeah, as the of course we're in 71 now, but coming up in real life is going to be the World League of Football, and we'll see if we can turn some of those teams that don't exist into World League football teams, or some of the rosters from that, what do I want to call it, failed experiment. I don't know how long this is going to go. Of course, in my head, I'm like, oh, this is going to go all the way through the 90s, but we'll see. But obviously, during the 84 time frame, 83, 84, we could go with some USFL teams. But you just have to kind of live with the semi-pro teams. For the two South divisions, the Saints and the Falcons, and then the Colts and the Oilers, they get to be the beneficiaries of having, you know, two semi-pro teams in their division, which kind of inflates their records a little bit, but it is what it is. Then you got the Cowboys and the Bears in their divisions. It's all full of real teams, so gives the Saints more of a chance to compete record-wise with the teams in the East and the North for sure. But yeah, they are all, even the modern players that are on those teams. The roster has all the modern players that are left on it are still rated really low, so those teams should not be able to win. So Archie Manning comes out, 2 minutes and 8 seconds left, trying to build. You know, he's the rookie. That wasn't the right thing to do, though. Throws it. Did not see Edwards there. Edwards right in the pass lane. Good anticipation from him that the Saints were going to run a slant, and Archie Manning never saw him, I have to believe. And he's right there covering the slant. Interception. That's something the rookie's going to learn, hopefully. But not today. And there is a huge hole opened once again. Dwayne Thomas is back, so that was the only bad news for the Cowboys, is maybe they lost their running back, but no, he's back. He's fine. Not sure I'd be putting him back out there. You don't want to lose him for a considerable amount of time. I know the Cowboys are deep and loaded, but still, no reason to just lose players. Staubach play action pass. He wants to go to the air and finds his man for the touchdown. That's Bob Hayes' second touchdown. So Staubach, 5th touchdown for Hayes on the year. Staubach has no problems running up the score, Landry and Staubach. And even though the Saints, I really feel like for the majority of this game, the Saints not played with the Cowboys or anything ridiculous, but played pretty well. And just a couple of bad plays here and there, and it looks like a slaughter. It's 37-9. And I don't think the Saints played that horribly, which is just weird to say, but that's how good the Cowboys are. Cowboys are very good here in 1971. There you see that game, Redskins and Giants. That was a phenomenally close game, unlike this one. Archie Manning, 22 of 34, not bad. 172 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. That's pretty accurate for 71. Archie misses there. So he's going to keep throwing, and why not? Why not let the rookie work on his 2-minute drill, atone for that interception? You know, it's all career building at this point. He's definitely the future. That's why they have switched to him so early here in this season. And we'll see, as this kid from Mississippi does, so will the Saints do in the upcoming years, I'm sure. Not sure why the Saints would call timeout and then punt the ball, but whatever. Hopefully the Cowboys at least just run the ball, if not just kneel it. I mean, they already kind of ran up the score on the last drive, but now it would just be absurd if they continue to try to throw to Bob Hayes or anything. It is a handoff. Calvin Hill is the second running back, and he's at 77 yards and a touchdown. Walt Harrison has only gotten the ball. There we go. I was going to say, let's get Walt Harrison a carry or two. That's just his 3rd carry. 3 carries, 19 yards. 3rd down. They do have to run one more play. And that'll do it. The Cowboys are going to get to 4. No, of course we knew that since early in the second quarter, probably. Staubach's going to throw for some reason. Man, Staubach took a hit right at the end of that. Imagine if he would have got hit or hurt. Not sure what they were doing there, but he doesn't get hurt. Cowboys win easily. Staubach adds another 3 touchdowns. He's up to 8 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions here. And that's good for modern football. That's amazing for 71 football. There you see 450 yards of offense for the Cowboys. Just over 250 for the Saints. It wasn't close, but yet feel like the Saints can take some positives from this game. just not the score. Cowboys, of course, continue to feel like the Super Bowl favorites, which they probably are. So thank you, Al Red Sox fan, for joining live. Anyone else that watches this on replay, of course, always thank you for watching. Come back for more Sack to the Future action. That does it for week number 4. We'll be back with some week 5 action in the next few nights. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.